elevated the zone because she does have more upspin and her rise ball.
Wave and a miss by Janai Kerr in this top 20 matchup from Clearwater is underway. UCLA off to a 2-3 start. Florida State 5-1 to begin this campaign. As Tinsley paints the outside corner. She's starting lineup. Alani Alameda's team with junior Kerr right up front. What a number of familiar names from past seasons as well.
Both these clubs have a lot of experience returning, and so sometimes that's also a code word for expectations.
Synonym? Code
Yes.
word? Absolutely. That's so true.
Kerr last year had a team leading 356. All ACC first team.
I think, though, you guys, a lot of eyes are going to be on UCLA this weekend after their opening weekend to see how they respond after a weekend that, quite frankly, caught the nation's attention in all the wrong ways.
Down the left field side, slicing and out of reach.
And Amanda, to your point, UCLA is a program, 52 wins last year. That's the most since 2001. They set all sorts of records. You know, a lot of people thought they were going to challenge Oklahoma in that national championship. Didn't make it out of regionals. And when you do look back at their last 6 games, they've really struggled between the end of last year and the beginning of this year. So this is a massive weekend for them.
Up to middle, base hit. Janai Kerr hitting 500 on the year to start the year.
And that's the pitch that Taylor Tinsley needs to do a little bit better at making that ball move. There's 2 strikes. She's ahead, and on a 2-2 pitch, she just leaves that on her arm side rise ball a little bit too much in the zone. That's got to have a little bit more up and a little bit more out. Otherwise, someone like Janai Kerr is just going to do what she did, base hit back up the middle.
Well, and I don't think it is. For Florida State, they just faced Nyjah Kennedy, the best rise ball in the country, arguably, and now they go to another rise ball pitcher in Tinsley, and that's still good, but they just faced 70 in electric movement in Kennedy. So anything after that isn't going to seem as jumpy as what you already just faced the game before, right?
And I'm sure Tinsley sees herself as a rise ball pitcher. They should probably have used that as her identity. The first pitch of the game, though, was a changeup and off speed. That's the pitch I think she needs to use to help elevate that rise ball.
Back to the circle, knocked down by Tinsley. She'll take the out at first. Kerr is able to advance to 60 feet. She's in scoring position with 1 out.
And next batter, the right fielder, Kaylee Harding.
So what you're saying is if you follow Nyjah Kennedy,
Yeah.
you don't want to be another rise ball pitcher.
Well, and she throws so hard, too. I mean, you called that game, Michelle. She was hitting 71, 72, right?
Consistently, there are a couple popped in at 73, 74 miles an hour.
So after that, this feels like about 60.
Yeah.
First pitch strike to Kaylee Harding. In that game against Stanford, Haley went 0 for 3. Still off to a good beginning this year, 9 for 20, including 3 home runs. Belts it down the left field side, just fair, into the corner. Kerr trots home. Harding replaces her at second base. Well, an RBI double, her 3rd double, 12th run batted in, 1-0.
All of these balls have been hard hit. Another pitch that is a changeup, actually, yeah, but left more out of the plate. Didn't fool Harding as much as it should. You could tell she was slightly out in front, but really still got behind it. She hit that ball hard down the line. It stays fair, and Florida State scores first.
We talked about the young pitching staff for UCLA. They graduated Megan Farimo and Brooke Yanes. That was 90% of their innings last year, that team that was just so successful. So Tinsley, their ace, with just about 10% of the innings last year, now in her sophomore campaign.
Jason E. Beecham One of the newcomers, freshman from right there in Tallahassee. 9 for 16. That works out to the .563 average. Hard ground ball up the right center alley. Harding scoring. Beecham's 8th RBI. And 4 batters into the game. Florida State has scored twice.
Beecham's just a freshman, has been around Florida State for a long time. She's come to camp. She's been a fan of this program, and now here she is as a freshman hitting in the 4-hole RBI situation. Not phased whatsoever. Is going to go up against a legacy program like UCLA and just put that ball out on the green to score the 2nd run of the game for Florida State.
Senior Devin Flaherty jumping on the first pitch, and to this point, ladies, it has been aggressive swings from Florida State.
Well, and Tinsley needs to notice that and work more off the plate to start these at-bats, because some of these pitches are about a ball on the plate. And for Florida State, with the way that they lock in and prepare for a pitcher and understand the game plan, that's just not going to work. They're going to barrel some pitches up. Good changeup right there, completely sold that pitch. Love to see it. But mix that changeup more and start more off the plate early in the count.
And Coach Lonnie Alameda, season 16, one of the legends of the profession. In fact, 2 legends squaring off here today with Coach I on the other side. That's called foul. Plate umpire Scott Mayer had that call. Wasn't fouled by much.
Well, Amanda, to your point about Tinsley and that changeup, it's really about where she locates it. A 0-1 pitch to Harding, and it was just elevated too much. She almost has to bounce that in.
Tinsley last year 6-1, an ERA of about 1.5, 57 innings pitched. On a staff, obviously, with Faremo and Yanez, she wasn't going to get a ton of innings.
I think that's the hard part for these college coaches. You know, how much do you use your rookies, your new kids, to get them experience so that when your elder experienced graduate or move on, you've got someone with experience in the circle.
Well, and we just saw Oklahoma State, and Kyra Aycock was used in big games last year, even with Kelly Maxwell and Lexi Kilfoyle on staff. I feel like they set a good example of still having confidence and getting her some big game experience. Well, at the time, they didn't know that Kelly Maxwell wasn't going to be here this year, but just to get her in there and get some innings.
That ball hit the foot of Flaherty, so it was not a live ball, and that's why she will see a 1-2 pitch.
And Florida State, they're hitters that make you work. No matter if they just saw Kennedy the game before, it doesn't matter. They always have a good game plan, always have a patient, focused eye at the plate.
Liner caught. Woolery steps on. Double play ends the inning, but an extremely loud out double play. UCLA is able to escape, allowing just the 2 runs.
Good stuff. Danley, she's going to be mid-60s. She's going to work all 4 quadrants, but it's really her changeup that's effective. She used that very efficiently against Stanford last night when she came in relief. The key for her is to really attack the zone, try to limit those free passes that have been a little bit of a nemesis for her in her young career.
Two balls, no strikes. Maya Brady leading off. UCLA. High strike. Pac-12 Player of the Year last year. First team All-American. Pac-12 batting champ. Coach I basically said if we had made the Women's College World Series, she firmly believed that Maya would have been selected National Player of the Year. Little check swing back to the circle. Danley throws out Brady. Here's your lineup for the Bruins. Ladies, what's been good? What's changed? And Allery, what's old is new again, I guess. Jordan Woolery and Megan Grant batting back-to-back.
Absolutely. And last weekend they were not. They were split apart. So Grant was in and Woolery were in the 2 and 4 holes. A little bit of separation between them. And last year they were so effective as freshmen, hitting back-to-back. So I think, you know, this UCLA coaching staff going back to see if they can get a little bit of that magic back with Woolery and Grant. The two of them have really struggled early in the season. You don't like to say sophomore slump, but they definitely have a target on their back, just hitting a .182 and .077 respectively for those two.
Saw Coach Inoue Perez, and last year was a typical Bruins season. They're one of the heavyweights, obviously, in softball history. Lost the Pac-12, the first ever Pac-12 tournament title game, and then that crazy 2 back-to-back losses to end their season in the LA Regional.
Well, and I think this is where they can pick up their pitchers, is with their offense. I mean, when you look at the names in the offense, there's so much potential, proven potential and experience in the offensive side of things. But opening weekend, they just hit .227 as a team. And in order for them to win games this year, that has to increase by a lot, because clearly we're already seeing they're going to give up runs this year. But if you can put together some offensive things and start to outscore teams in those higher scoring games, now you can start winning games.
We'll count on Savipola.
And I felt like, Michelle, just from watching the games, you were calling them, but a lot of just unsuredness, if that's a word. Tentativeness is what I saw out of their at-bats instead of aggressiveness. Like even that Maya Brady check swing on the changeup, soft roller back to Danley. Oh, wow. My goodness.
The way Pola reacted, wasn't sure if she was going to take the bat and go to the dugout or take her base, and takes the base.
Next batter for Bruins, first baseman Jordan Woolery.
Just above belt, looks like a strike, but you know, that's always that first inning, is trying to learn the umpire strike zone. But back to your point, Amanda, it is a team that needs to get a little more comfortable in the batter's box and just be aggressive. We saw Florida State do that, right? Hitting early in the count kind of can help set the pitcher back on their heels a little bit.
Woolery takes a strike from Danley. This is a program, obviously, that's had historically a lot of swagger. They're one of the ultimate teams in college softball. It seems like they've maybe temporarily just kind of lost that swagger right now.
Well, and they've had some unfortunate injuries already this year. Alexis Ramirez was their top hitter. She injured herself last weekend in right field. You know, she was hitting .455. So when you have a little bit of adversity with injuries, it's hard. It shuffled things around defensively. Then we saw some defensive miscues. Just kind of snowballed, unfortunately, for UCLA.
Well, and Janelle Mayoño as well getting injured opening weekend.
Woolery off to a 2-for-11 start. Reaches for it and is able to pull it through the left side. Base hit for Woolery. And now the Bruins have 2 on with 1 out.
And look, that wasn't pretty. But for UCLA's offense to show up, you have to just find a way, like Jordan Woolery does here. This changeup just gets completely fooled, but still sticks with it, and she is strong enough. I mean, her bottom half is pretty much taken out completely with that swing, but still finds a hole.
Next inning, and right fielder Megan Grant batting in the cleanup spot.
And it just feels, you guys, like this is such an important inning already for UCLA to answer back. 2 on, less than 2 outs. You have somebody like Megan Grant at the plate. You want to be able to grab some momentum early in this tournament to punch back. And just say to the rest of your team, hey, we're going to show up and we're going to fight in this tournament despite some challenges, some adversity. Like, we're going to set the tone in the first inning that we're here to fight.
There's the change. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kayla Edenfield behind the plate. Megan Grant, as I mentioned, only 13 at-bats on the season. She's 1 for 13, so the sample size is very small. You go back to last year as a true freshman, she had 15 homers.
Yeah.
Drove in 58. And that's the track record coming into this year.
I think right now she's seeing the ball, identifying it. She has 6 strikeouts on the year. So, and you can tell when she swung through the changeup earlier in this account that, and granted, this is a lefty-lefty matchup in battle, which is difficult, and they're throwing her all inside, but sometimes it is just as simple as just seeing the pitches and identifying them.
Got jammed, pulls it right side off the glove of Ross. Flaherty throwing back behind Pola at third. And UCLA, it's not like they're hitting line drives all over the field, but they have loaded the bases here with 1 out. Ross couldn't field that cleanly.
Good pitch made by Ashton Danley in a full count, and it just hits off of Harding. Look at this athleticism, though, from Flaherty. If she does not stop that, that's a run scored for UCLA. Bare hands it, keeps the ball on the dirt. Now we have the bases loaded, less than 2 outs. Flaherty, such a great second baseman, always Johnny on the spot.
Oh, and Ross over at first base. We saw Kaylee Harding at first base last night, so a little bit of shuffling with the Seminole defense. I mean, that's a situation, if she backs up and actually fields that cleanly without the backhand, that could have been a double play. She could have gone up the middle. Could have been a 3-6-4 double play, potentially.
Off-speed strike to Charlize Palacios. They did score the ball hit by Grant as a hit. A 2 for 10 start this year for Palacios. Got fooled and strikes out. First strikeout for Ashton Danley.
That's a big out for the freshman, going back to that changeup. See the way that she just pulls the string on this. Nicely located on the outer half. It's above the knee. Palacios can't identify it, swings through it.
Bases loaded, 2 outs for Jadlyn Alchin. She does not have a good cut at the first one, strike 1. As you mentioned, though, the lefty-lefty thing is prominent here in the first inning.
Yeah, and there's 6 of the 9 hitters for UCLA are left-handed, so bodes well for the freshman.
Fouled off her foot, but it is 0-2.
And she's the only player in the UCLA offense, the starting lineup, that has hit a home run this season. UCLA only has 2 home runs on the season. The other one was the player that you mentioned, Michelle, who's injured, Ramirez. So not a lot of power yet for UCLA. They're trying to find that stroke.
Back to off speed and back-to-back Ks with the bases loaded for Ashton Danley. So the Bruins threaten, but leave them loaded. Lisa Torres hit one back to the circle her first time up. The first inning for Taylor Tinsley, she gave up the 2 runs, and she was getting knocked around pretty good. There were a lot of line drives. Better in the second. It seems like maybe she's kind of getting settled in a little bit here.
Starting to use that changeup a little more effectively. Keep that rise ball up. There it is. That's a changeup.
Did not get the call on appeal. Torres able to check the swing, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, Florida State always plays so well in this tournament, seemingly. Always figure out a way to win, and despite playing 5 different opponents, they're always so prepared for the opponent that they're playing next and the pitcher that they're playing next. Nice pitch.
Tinsley does finish it with a strikeout, her second of the game.
Well, and Michelle, you had mentioned about the location of the changeup, and that was a much better location here. It's diving down, getting Torres to swing and miss that pitch, versus earlier in the game, it was much more elevated, more flat, more on the plate, and I think that that's been a big difference maker for Tinsley in these last 2 innings.
Yeah, back to your point about Lonnie Alameda. I mean, she is a textbook when it comes to studying this game and getting her team prepared. I mean, she is one of the best pitch callers for her pitching staff in the entire game, but she also has her offense completely prepared for the type of pitches they're going to see, what they're going to attack.
In at the knees and a strike to Kaylee Harding. 0-2. Harding doubled in a run. Her first at bat, also scored in the first.
Pitch, and it is a little intimidating to your first game, first inning. I think we've noticed it with all of the pitchers. Bit of a slow start at this tournament because it's just, you see the cameras, the people, just the intensity of this tournament takes you back a little, and it takes a little bit to settle in.
Through the left side, and Harding, that's her second hit of the game. She's now 11 for 22, so has bumped the average from 450 to 500 here early in the season.
The next batter is the third baseman, Sunny Beachman.
Freshman Jason E. Beecham. And a sharp base hit to right center field that drove in a run in the first. He's 10 for 17 this year. Good location there, 0-2.
Pretty good numbers when you're a freshman and you're protecting Kaylee Harding and you're hitting in the 4-hole. Yeah, that means you can swing it pretty good.
On the ground is second base and Savipola with the underhand to Woolery. And Tinsley works around the 2-out base hit by Harding and has seemed to set.
See what they have this year with some new faces, the everyday lineup.
Ball 1 to Maya Brady. Hit one back to the circle in her first at bat. She's 5 for 14 this year, 3 RBIs.
Pitch.
1 run scored in their last 12 innings. So when we say it's a key to the game, just score runs, we mean it. Just get something offensively going. Only scored 1 run against Oklahoma State and then got shut out by Texas, and then getting shut out at this point right now. Second time through the order, though. Interested to see the types of adjustments that they make against Stanley and if they can get something going. Florida State had a chance to score more runs in that first inning, too. Only came away with one because of that great play by Jordan Woolery at first base, double play. Scored 2 runs in that first inning. And they could have had more, you know. That was a big play defensively for UCLA that up to this point has kept them in the game.
That could have easily been a 4 or 5 run inning.
Yeah.
A 5-pitch walk to Brady, and for the first time today, UCLA has the leadoff batter aboard.
The next batter's the second baseman, Savannah Pola.
That's the one part of this freshman's game, and Danley has been a little bit around the zone. Those freshman nerves probably. Her most controlled pitch is that changeup, but when you do look at her stat line, it's those free passes. Trying to work through that, limit it. But I love that Lonnie Alameda threw her in relief last night against Stanford and throws her right out there first thing in the morning against UCLA. That's how you train.
I mean, historically, Florida State, UCLA, you think some of the best tradition in the history of the game.
Quick to get that attention off of you, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What are you, a psychiatrist here? Yes, it's exactly what I was doing.
Let's talk more about you. Oh, so cute.
See, that's me. Hide my face. Am I near the pitch clock? Upstairs, 3-1. That walk to Brady ends a stretch of 5 in a row retired by Danley, and she's behind in the count again to Pola.
Now, second time through the lineup, you know, a little better idea for UCLA what pitches they're hunting. This is where it gets a little more challenging for Ashton, freshman.
Full count on Pola, who walked in the first inning.
What a take. That is a borderline strike call, but Pola just trusting that that pitch was going to get called a ball, and now back-to-back walks for UCLA, showing their patience, not getting too jumpy, trusting their eyes, letting this pitch travel. I mean, that's a great spot. You want that as a pitcher, but just a little bit low. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was a little low.
Now Royalty warming up in the bullpen.
Here's Jordan Woolery, single to left in her first at bat. So to chase one off the plate, strike one.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we've seen in this season so far. We are very early, but UCLA uncharacteristically chasing a lot of pitches outside of the zone, being fooled on off speeds.
And we'll see too, it's almost like Ashton Danley, I don't know, it's maybe too early to say this, but maybe she pitches better with runners on. Bases loaded, UCLA had it in the bottom of the first inning, and then she had back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. So got herself into a little bit of trouble. Again, one of those that got on was via free pass, but was able to work out of it.
This is the first time UCLA's had 2 runners on with nobody out, but Danley ahead in the count, and can't get her to chase that one. Last year's Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, was first team All Pac-12 as well. Third team All-American. Woolery and Grant last year as freshmen, about as solid a 1-2 freshman combination you'd find. Hot shot, skips past Flaherty into right center. Brady races home. Pola coming to the plate. It's tied. A hot shot right at Flaherty, but too hot to handle, and zipped past her all the way to the fence in right center.
This ball is just torched on the outer half. Love the way that Woolery is going to go get this. Is one of her best swings of the year yet. She hits it so hard, and typically Flaherty is so steady Eddie at that second base position, and you can just see the emotion with Woolery putting 2 runs up on the board for UCLA, knotting up this game.
Well, and you could tell, Michelle, that that's where they wanted the hit to go, was toward the right side, consistently working her on the outside corner. Isa Torres, the shortstop, was playing up the middle. That's where they wanted the ball to go, but a hard struck ball by Woolery, but Flaherty, I'm thinking, knows that she could make that play.
Well, and one of the keys to this game for Florida State was to play good defense behind the freshman, and granted, that, that's a base hit, that ball is torched, but you're right. Flaherty gloves that. It's a different game.
They do score it. 2-run double. Megan Grant, an infield hitter, first time up. You see Lauren Hatch there at second base. She's running for Woolery. Lauren Hatch. UCLA has tied it here in the third, looking to take their first lead now, still with nobody out. Kicks off Edenfield far enough away that the runner Hatch is able to take third base.
And these are all just learning lessons for Ashton Danley. A couple of free passes to lead off this inning and come back to hurt her. I love the way that Lonnie Alameda keeps her in the pressure cooker, makes her learn.
So much patience in the UCLA at bats this inning. Maya Brady, and we talked about her at the beginning of the show. If UCLA's offense is going to get going, she has to be a huge part of that. I mean, she just does. Even with showing patience to lead off innings, to find a way to get on, to set the tone for the offense for UCLA.
Third walk of the inning.
Well, and that's probably one of the things that the UCLA coaching staff was talking to their team about. Be patient. The freshman is throwing a lot of balls. Make her throw the pitches through the zone. Maybe sit change, just make some sort of adjustments, and they've put the pressure on her. Absolutely. You can see she's backward with
the left-hand side, the high heat. Danley, more of that spin and down. I mean, figure out the command, and those two are going to be nasty together.
Reed misses high as she faces catcher Charlize Palacios.
Outside, her arm side of the plate is where she's going to get her most out. So outside to lefties, excuse me, outside to righties, inside to lefties. She's going to be a little bit more up in the zone, and her outs are going to reflect that. But good thing about McKenna Reed is that she can come in and get the strikeout, and she can come in and get an easy fly ball out because she is more up in the zone and make it easy on the defense.
3 balls, no strikes. McKenna Reed, who was a freshman and pitched here in the Clearwater Invitational last year, got a save against Arizona, had a win over Arkansas. In her freshman year, went 13-0 with an ERA just under 1. And just about 80 innings pitched on the year. Ooh. Came in and I think got the Evo Shield arm guard. Now Palacios, a hit by pitch, loads the bases.
Did right there on the elbow. So many free passes this inning. Yeah, it's the 4th one.
Still nobody out. 2 runs in. And Washington transfer Jadlyn Alchin at the plate. Jadlyn, a strikeout victim in the first. upstairs.
Defense well in for Florida State. For something on the ground to come home to Edenfield.
Well, and I think the thing that's scary about having the infield in is that it makes those holes behind the infield even bigger for UCLA to just bloop one in because of McKenna Reed creating more fly balls because she has upspin. I mean, it gives a lot of room to be able to just find a area on the grass without an out.
There's a strike to level it. Bases loaded. Hatch, Grant, Palacios all aboard for UCLA.
Right, that's the pitch right there that Reed really needs to hone in. That looks like it's a rise ball, but it's just angling up. There's really no bite to it. It's not fooling the hitters. You could just see out of the hand that the hitters are just, nope, out of the zone. They're identifying it right away. I'd like to see her get underneath that pitch a little bit more to try to fool those hitters.
Missed, elevated again, and a bases loaded walk forces in the go-ahead run as Hatch crosses the plate.
And again, this is UCLA just finding any way they can to score runs. I mean, maybe not the way that we thought that UCLA's offense was going to bust open is what they're showing in this game. Only 2 hits still to show for it, but just such good patience and taking their time at the plate, trusting their eyes.
And Jordan Woolery has the only 2 hits for UCLA today. First inning single, and then her RBI double here in this 3rd inning.
You know you're in trouble when 6 consecutive batters reach and 5 of those 6 are free passes.
And 4 walks in the inning, a hit by pitch, and then the Woolery double as well. Florida State, which started so strongly with a 2-run first, now having their own issues in the circle here, have lost the lead.
And still no outs.
Taylor Stevens on a 1-0 pitch. It's like a broken record here. Everything up.
And I feel for her too because of how good her freshman year was. Her ERA was just under 1. She had all those saves, all those appearances, and those 13 wins like you mentioned. Great freshman year. But then you come your sophomore year and everybody expects the pitches to be more up in the zone. They know the scouting report. They know the velocity that you pitched down almost every pitch last year. So they're more prepared for what they're going to see. And you start to feel the expectations piece in your own mind about what you feel like you have to do in order to live up to what you did last year.
Saw Mimi Gooden getting stretched. A 4-pitch walk to Stevens. That's back-to-back bases loaded walks. And right now, Florida State just gift wrapping the runs for the Bruins, and it's now 4-2. Melanie Alameda comes to take the ball from Reed, who faces 3 batters, hit the first, walked the next 2. And Royalty, who's already warming up previously, is going to come into the game.
Being able to attack hitters, which is what you have to be able to do. And so she's going to be mid-60s. She's going to be upspin on both sides of the plate, screwball more so on the arm side, rise ball a little bit higher up and inside. And it's that changeup that makes all those other pitches so effective.
Coach Inoue Perez pulls a right-handed bat off the bench, facing right-handed pitcher Allison Royalty. It's Ramsey Suarez, a sophomore in Temecula, California. Adding in the DP Addison Mettler spot. Pinch hitter Suarez is the 8th batter to come to the plate in the inning for UCLA. Still nobody out. 4 runs in.
Well, for UCLA, sometimes this is the inning you need to really jumpstart your season. I mean, they figure out a way, as you mentioned. It may not be like super pretty, but they're taking what they're being given, which is a lot of free passes right now. They're not trying to overhit or hit pitches out of the zone, which is a big part of it because they were chasing pitches earlier.
Well, and we've seen some pinch hit magic on this field the past few games, so Suarez has her chance to add to it. And when I say magic, I mean like extra base hits, home runs off the bench. I mean, we've really seen some special pinch hits in the past 4 games. And this would be a big one. Talk about even adding more fuel to the fire of scoring more runs. I mean, they've done it with walks, which is great because they're scoring runs, but to have that big hit would just be even more big.
Close pitch. She held up on it. You got Enfield, the catcher, looking around like, did we get a swing? Did we get a strike call? You didn't get either, apparently. It's 2-2.
Well, Scott Meyer, he has not really given anything above the belt. To me, that looks like a strike. I don't know if maybe he's blocked, but Edenfield definitely holding it, thinking it's potentially strike 3.
That's off the knob of the bat. Well, he's calling it a foul ball. The plate umpire is. They had an easy force out at the plate, and now Lonnie Alameda, I think, is going to argue this. The hitter ran out Suarez thinking that hit the knob of the bat and is a fair ball, and he stopped the play.
Isn't the knob of the bat?
That
should be a fair ball, right?
Yeah, that should be a fair ball.
This is just a crucial part for Florida State to feel like they made 2 pitches in a row to get the same person out. Knob of the bat, that should.
That's a live ball.
That's a live ball.
And if it's not off of her bat, if you think that it's off of her arm,
well, she knows it because, as you said, she
ran. Always look at what the player's reaction is. I don't know if Smitty, if you were watching our earlier game today when Tim of Oklahoma State struck out.
What are they calling it, a foul ball?
I am thoroughly confused. I'm admitting that.
I think that they're saying that it hit her.
Okay, all right. Now I see the runner first. The bases are loaded again. So they're basically doing a do-over here.
Yeah.
But I will say, too, like that could have potentially even been a double play for Florida State.
Oh, no doubt.
Yes.
Not just one out.
Yeah, nothing against Suarez. She's not the fastest person out there, and all you got an out at the plate and a throw to first base.
You have Enfield back behind the plate. She can quick turn that to first.
Could have been a 1-2-3 double play.
So it is still a 4-2 game. Bases loaded. Nobody out. And another 3-2 pitch. And there's strike 3 on the high outside corner. And Allison Royalty has to be thinking, I got her out 3 different times.
Yeah, we should be out of the inning, right? We have 3 outs and that 1 hitter.
This is a changeup well located on the outer half. And, hats off to Suarez as well. I mean, that was a long at bat for her with a lot of stuff going on with the bases loaded coming off the bench. But Royalty ends up winning that battle.
And that's what Florida State needs, is just somebody to come in and throw strikes and make UCLA earn their way on and earn these runs by more than just a free pass.
Well, Florida State does get the first out of the inning with Tessamala Ulu up. I think fly to center in her first at bat. So bases loaded, 1 out.
Feels like it's been forever since the ball was put in play, right? I mean, just forever for this inning, too.
Yeah.
But, like, I think we're all excited that a ball was put in play, too, off of Suarez's bat, that we're going to finally get some action here instead of a walk.
This is the ninth batter in the inning, and the only ball that's been put in play was Woolery's double.
That's it.
Check swing on a pitch low, holding up 2-1. Towards second, caught, double play, ends the inning. Flaherty on a sinking soft liner and able to double up Stevens to win the inning.
Well, one of the things we said about Florida State is they need to play good defense behind their pitchers, and they did. Flaherty with the double play to get out of the jam. Knowles picking up the bats.
The 2024 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational presented by Evo Shield. 4-2 Bruins headed to the fourth. Let's visit with the head coach of the Bruins, Kelly Inouye-Perez.
Coach, coming into this weekend, what was just the overall message specifically to your offense about this tournament?
The message was the best is yet to come, and I can't wait until we actually play our game. So we have a lot to look forward to. It's a long season, but we're very optimistic about what we look forward to continuing to do throughout this entire season.
And Coach, for a tournament, this tournament is stacked with a lot of really good teams. What do you tell your young pitching staff about being in the circle in an event like this?
Oh, that I intentionally chose to take the hardest path. We want to play as many great games as we can earlier in the season. There's no reason to load up, just wins. Our goal is to be able to compete, to be able to learn. We've got to be gutsy. We've got to recover. So our goal is to be our best at the end. And we know we may not be at 100% now, but it's early and we got a long season.
Appreciate the time. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Coach.
Thank you.
And that's a big part of it, letting these young pitchers grow. I mean, there's nobody in the bullpen. That is one thing when you're a young pitcher, you can't always look over your shoulder like, who's going to come save me? You have to look down at yourself and be like, I have to save me. A lot of pitchers don't always learn that.
Well, and they do have a very challenging schedule, with starting with Texas and Oklahoma State, and then this tournament, and then the Mary Nutter in Palm Springs, plethora of games, and then also the Judy Garman. I mean, that's like the who's of tournaments that they're playing back to back to back.
And on top of that, and I know this isn't the lead story as early as it is in the season, but this is the swan song for the Pac-12.
Yeah.
The conference that was the seminal conference for college softball. And it's going to be going away after this year. And UCLA has been the torchbearer for that. So they're going to go to the Big Ten. That's going to completely change the landscape of the game. Slowly hit Savipola, close, but gets Flaherty. It's going to be a new world next year.
Yeah, it's going to feel so different to not have a conference matchup of UCLA versus Arizona, Washington versus Oregon, UCLA versus Washington. So much history in this conference.
And you look at the 24 national championships that the Pac-12 has won over the last 40 years. It is mind-blowing to think we won't be saying Pac-12 anymore. Obviously, those programs are going to be going to different conferences and will continue to play and grow their legacies, but it's just going to sound very different.
Very. And UCLA has the most national championships, but the fact that 5 different teams in that conference have won national championships just goes to show you the history and the depth and the quality of softball programs that they've had.
The Arizona-UCLA matchup, fair to say, really kind of the marquee one. And Coach I has gone on record saying, I hope at some point, even though Arizona's going to the Big 12, we're going to the Big 10, to set up a midweek.
Absolutely.
You've got to keep that rivalry going.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, right? The Bedlam series, they're pretty committed to making sure that still happens. And, that is the history of our sport. Before the SEC was a conference, everybody wanted, if you were a young girl, you wanted to go to the Pac-12 and play ball.
Or you wanted to go to Oklahoma State and be the next Michelle Smith.
Yeah, be a cowgirl.
Well, unfortunately, back in the day, it was the Big 8, so, yeah.
The Clearwater Bullets fast pitch team are in the house.
Yeah.
Strike at the knees. 3-2.
That changeup is working, and she's starting to throw it a lot more in backward counts, too. Really throwing Florida State off with just being able to locate that pitch a lot better.
Enfield drives it deep center field and over the wall for a home run.
That's a home
Her
run
second
for Michaela
of the season.
Enfield.
Makes it a one-run game.
Well, so this is interesting because the pitch prior was a 3-1 count, and Edenfield, I think she thought she had 2 strikes. She looked like she was struck out and walking back on a changeup. So 3-1 changeup. Edenfield starts to leave thinking she's struck out. Come back with another changeup. What does Edenfield do? Boom, blasts it out of the park.
And she's like, I don't want to feel that again. I don't want to strike out again, at least in my head. The feeling of striking out. I'm going to make up for it right here.
That's right.
And it is back to back. Hallie Waycaser, her first of the year. And on the last 2 pitches, home runs, and it's tied.
And the sound off the bat is just so sweet. The crack of the bat and barreling up these last 2 pitches. Edenfield home run and then Waycaser home run. And Florida State able to tie up this game. And we're just bragging on the Tinsley changeup. That wasn't it. The Enfield one was. This one wasn't, trying to get up and in her hands, but she's just on time for it. Love the reacts in the dugout, especially Enfield's too, as she saw it go over the fence. She had a great react when she was headed to second base. I mean, look at the energy.
You're down by 6 runs. You're like, nope, we're not out of it.
Not a lot. I mean, you got to see a shutout yesterday, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of that here.
First time for back-to-back homers for Florida State since May 7th of 2022. Enfield and Waycaser go back-to-back.
And I'm interested to see how UCLA works their pitchers today, because this is not just a one-off game that UCLA plays today. They have to then go on later to play Georgia. So having to face the FSU offense and then the Georgia offense is a tall task, even when you feel like you have a deep pitching staff, a couple of aces on your staff. I'm interested to see how they work it and how their pitchers react to these innings against these 2 good offenses.
Almost looked like it hit the knob of the bat as well, but apparently got some of the hand of Amaya Ross. Or off the elbow. Let's see here. Oh, there's the Evo shield coming into play. Got the elbow guard.
You become a lot more willing to take a hit by pitch when you have the Evo shield guarding your elbow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 pitchers in the booth.
We just need Danielle here with us to.
Danielle Laurie. That's all we need is you 3 together. Holy smokes.
Mark was just wiping sweat off his brow. I saw that. I saw that.
Ooh, can't imagine.
We need a defibrillator up here if that was the case.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I think Coach I may have thought what I initially thought, but then we see it and it was definitely off the elbow guard. But
well, and to the point too, you know, I think we've talked at times about the game and the river and, you know, the lines, the way that the river really on the inner half of the plate is non-existent anymore, where hitters are leaning over. And so pitchers, where do you throw? You throw on the corner, right? Or you try to come inside and you end up hitting batters. So it is an interesting conversation that coaches have during the NFCA meetings, and, you know, rule changes. And what do we do? Do we make the river larger? We are the same size as baseball, but yet our ball is larger than a baseball. Just,
I love it when you make that point.
Yeah.
I think
crazy,
that is
right?
such a wow moment, especially because of the Evo Shield mark. And I know you're giving us a hard time about it, but you're not as scared to toe up on the line and completely take what is the river, the small river, away.
No, I don't doubt it. I mean, if I were forced to go up there, I'd be in a full body Evo Shield. So I understand why they wear them.
Maybe they can make one for you.
And then Amanda will throw
Yeah,
it.
maybe you need it to work together. You know, yeah, I punch you a lot up here. So
You are a physical analyst, I'll give you that. Well, number 20 and number 5 tied at 4. Coach I has had her say, and Kaylee Budge comes off the bench. There goes Ross. Safe. Her 5th stolen base in as many tries this year. Mudge hits it up the middle and into center field. Ross to the plate, throw coming home, and just a tad late from Olchin. Mudge off the bench gives Florida State back the lead at 5-4.
Trying to get Mudge 100%, but when you have a senior leader like this come off the bench and just take a pitch on the upper half outside and drive it right back up the middle with the speed of Amaya Ross, easily going to score from second base.
Center fielder,
And the Noles now have the lead back 5-4.
such a weapon to have somebody like her with the experience she has coming off the bench.
Fifth-year player coming through to give her team back the lead. UCLA discussing. Now, I don't think we've mentioned this dynamic. That Rob Schweier he's taken over the pitching. Lisa Fernandez has changed her role. It's different dynamic here than what we're used to with UCLA's pitching.
Yeah, Swire comes in as a new pitching coach, and he's obviously in the bullpen along with Kelly Inouye Perez, who, great catcher in her day, wanted to really see what the pitchers were doing. So yeah, different mix-up. Lisa Fernandez now controlling more of the hitting, as well as Kirk Walker. I mean, Kirk can do it all.
Yeah, they all could dip their toe in the pitching department for sure. They all have before in their career and first season.
Yeah, he was Brooke Yana's personal coach for a while and did a lot of lessons and stuff there in the LA area. First pitch swinging, line to right. Megan Grant climbs the ladder to make the catch. Kurt absolutely undressed that ball and
next batter's shortstop.
turns into a very loud out. Coming up tomorrow, college hoops begins with number 9 Duke and Florida State. That's 2 Eastern. Then from Norman, Kansas and OU, and finally number 22 Kentucky and 13th ranked Auburn square off in a Sonic blockbuster. Say that fast. College game day. Our coverage begins with college game day, 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Yusa Torres has grounded out and struck out. And another line drive. This one a testament. Congratulations, Coach Papa, on a great 38-year career. Fun to see UNC here. Northwestern LSU still 12-12. Wow.
Oh my goodness. We've had a 12-10 game, a 12-12 game.
It's jammed and pulls it to first.
It's a big out.
Maya Ross just takes it right to the bag, and they get quick out of Maya Brady to begin the 4th, bottom half.
I feel like Allison Royalty coming in this game was big, but I also feel like she has an opportunity as a senior with a lot of experience that she had at Arizona State, where she started her career in the pack and pitched a lot with that team, and then coming over to Florida State, working with Coach Alameda, working on her mechanics. But I feel like she has a really big opportunity to make this her staff as a senior, be the one that they go to in the bigger moments and late in the game when they need just to change the tides. And I feel like she's proven that, at least in this game. But to continue to take advantage of these opportunities and maybe be the one of the staff.
Driven deep to right field, off the scoreboard. Savannah Pola. And now we're tied again at 5. She is not exactly your huge home run source, but this ball was blasted off the scoreboard.
Yeah, only the 3rd home run of the season for UCLA, and no doubter off of her bat, and she was quick to that inside corner. But what I loved was just the overall excitement and energy from the UCLA dugout. They were so happy for her. Hits the scoreboard, and Savvy Pola ties up this game.
Savvy Pola was the only Bruin to start all 59 games last year, and she had 1 home run for the season. So she has equaled that with her first here in game number 6 on the year for the Bruins. She did have 5 a couple of years ago. Pola did in her true freshman year.
Seeing the ball good here today. A couple walks in the home run.
Woolery, then Grant. We mentioned at the top of the telecast, hitting back-to-back like they normally did last year. And they've both been productive so far today.
Well, they did so much together in the UCLA lineup as freshmen. I mean, the 2 of them combined for 25 home runs and 100+ RBI between Woolery and Grant last year. I mean, their offense was just mega for freshmen.
Yeah, set freshman records. I mean, when you look at the history of this program and they're setting freshman records with the number of players that have come through here, you know they can swing it.
Pulled out to short, came up and hit Torres in the chest. Still would have had her out, but Ross was unable to catch the throw. I'll tell you what, Torres came up and got her right near the throat. Unfortunately, she's got a smile on her face.
Next batter is right fielder Megan Grant.
Torres is tough, just an incredible freshman. You can see it takes that hop, but she does not give up on it. Throw over there, and Ross should have made that catch. That ball tailing just a little bit. But really good job by Torres to stick with it, and they're going to give the error to Amaya Ross over at first.
Just a hard play by Torres. I mean, to stick with that and still have a chance to make the out at first base, especially after a home run. It's like you got to do whatever it takes to get an out in a tie game.
Megan Grant singled and walked. A 5-5 game here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Between number 5 and number 20. Well, despite the home run by Pola, you were making a comment about Allison Royalty.
Yeah.
And my first thought when she came into the game was what Lonnie was thinking. And I don't use this term to diminish the young pitchers that were there before, but now I'm thinking to myself, okay, now you have an adult in the circle. And I use that term adult just because of her experience. Because that's what she brings. She needed to bring somebody that's been there year after year after year to kind of stabilize this thing today.
Yeah, and she was strong yesterday against Stanford, really expanded the zone. You know, that's what you've got to continue to do. Different pitch counts.
Yeah.
The technology is working.
Something a little different. We saw the earpiece in Michaela Edenfield's ear back behind the plate.
It's driven to the gap in right center field and hits at the base of the wall. Woolery to third, Grant to second. Megan Grant's on base for a third time, so the Woolery-Grant back-to-back spots in the batting order continue to produce.
The next batter,
It's a changeup that just stays elevated, and Grant is going to do a good job of just staying on that, barreling it up, putting it deep in the field. Almost looked like off the bat it could have left the yard, but it hits the middle of the fence. Megan Grant definitely swinging it a little bit better here. You can see the confidence just growing in her 2 for 2 today with a double.
2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out. With Charlize Palacios up, Lonnie Alameda elects to bring the infield in tight. And not going to pitch to Palacios. So you got Alchin on deck. First base open. You're seeing an intentional pass. The veteran player Charlize Palacios. You're going to bring a left-handed bat to the plate.
Great to force out and back too.
Statistically, when you look at the analytics,
next batter to center fielder,
second and third with less than 2 outs, the batting averages are typically above 500. Bases loaded a little bit lower. You have the opportunity to try to turn those double plays. Obviously a lot harder when you have someone like Alchin up who can run.
Alchin is struck out and also walked with the bases loaded in that 4-run third for UCLA. To first, knocked down, race to the bag, out. Ross was able to come up with it after it initially kicked off her glove. It's going to score a run, but Flaherty was able to get there, and Florida State does get it out, but Alchin gets an RBI as Woolery comes in to score the go-ahead run. If Ross fields that cleanly, does she think home at all or just first base on the ball?
I would think home.
Yeah, I think definitely opportunity to keep the run off the board.
And the runner that scored, remember, got on because of an error by her. So the go-ahead run was there just off of an E3.
Second and third, 2 outs. Taylor Stevens also had a bases loaded walk in the 3rd inning. Grant, lead runner at third base. And ball 4 loads him up. What an update on that Northwestern LSU game. It was tied at 12. Raylene Gutierrez at the plate. Bottom of the 7th inning. So in regulation, a sac fly brings in the winning run, and LSU outlast Northwestern 13-12.
The look on Taylor Pleasant's face winning that game. I mean, that's one that you remember for a while. I'm thinking, what is 13-12, right?
Yes. So Madison Piccini comes in. pinch hit here for UCLA.
The batter's number 52, Madison Cassini.
This was a 2-0 game going to the bottom of the third. Now it's 6-5 and a chance for more for the Bruins.
You mean like an hour and a half ago, bottom of the third?
Yeah, back then.
Whew.
Yeah, the game was cruising, and then it's like offense said,
Hold on.
waking up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now Royalty falls behind 3-0 here.
You kind of feel like for both teams, they have similar question marks. It's their pitching staff and just being able to get outs. Who's going to be the one that steps up? How are you going to use your staff in different roles to be able to win games? Both lost big-name pitchers last year.
That is the third time today Florida State has had a bases loaded walk for UCLA.
Well, and I think too, I mean, I think that there would be probably more walks because the command isn't there. But when you have a smaller zone and a pitching staff that is struggling with their command, it just is not a great combo. How many free passes has Florida State had in this game?
Many.
The fact that it's taking a while to count up, it gives you an
10.
indication.
10 with the hit batters and the air.
Mayonio.
Janelle Mayonio, who can run the bases, is going to run for Bassini at first. Tesamala Ulu, the hitter, still bases loaded, 2 outs.
It's good to see Mionio back in the game. She was injured last weekend and has been out of the lineup until today.
Gets the high strike call that time. 0-2. Florida State scored 3 in the top of the inning, including back-to-back homers from Edenfield and Waycaser. UCLA has matched that. Still has the bases loaded. Field over there saw the conclusion of their game, so they just turn around and watch this game.
Yeah, those are great seats right there because you get dual action from your seat. Both fields over here.
Bases full of Bruins with 2 outs. Florida State, Allison Royalty trying to get this final out of the bottom of the 4th. Two and two. Ulu's saying that hitter or thought it was ball 4, one of the two. It definitely didn't hit her.
No, I think she thought it was ball 4.
Yeah. Ground ball to short. Another weird hop past Torres. Brings in 1. Palacios safe. It's Stevens who comes in as the second runner after Palacios also came in. And Tessa Mala'ulu, a bad hop base hit into left center to score 2.
This ball is just tattooed. She's looking down. She goes down and hits it very hard. And Torres, not a lot she can do at that. Takes a hop up over her glove. Good throw in from Kerr out in center field, but a lot of speed on the bases for UCLA, and they put a couple more runs up on the board, expand their lead to 4 now here in the 4th.
It's back-to-back innings where every person in the UCLA lineup has come up to the plate. Long innings for Florida State. Again, all those free passes, especially these last 2 innings, have just been really tough to watch at times, and UCLA able to capitalize on these free passes.
Maya Brady 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. She led off this inning with a ground out to first.
And to your point, Amanda, 5 of the runs for UCLA got on base via the walk, and then also an error. So really 6 free passes account for runs of their 9.
Hold foul by Maya. One-two pitch from Allison Royalty. Now Brady sends one deep center and gone.
Three-run homer for Maya Brady.
First of the year for Maya Brady after hitting 18 a year ago.
And 2 home runs in this inning. Maya Brady unleashes on this pitch, and all of a sudden UCLA has 12 runs on the board. That was an off-speed pitch, a changeup. She sits back on it, recognizes it, and hits it well over the center field wall, grabs the Jolly Rancher from Kirk Walker as the UCLA tradition stands, and heads home. UCLA starting to feel much better at the plate and score runs for their pitching staff and their defense.
A 3-run home run for Maya Brady will chase Allison Royalty. I'll tell you about the new pitcher Gooden when we come back.
Ground balls, and he plays behind her.
11th batter in the inning is Savipola, who hit her first home run of the season earlier in this inning. Who's also walked twice, so she's been on base all 3 times up. If you want to see what a home run off the scoreboard looks like, here you go.
Pitch on the inner half. Savipola just gets all into it, and as soon as she rotated on that, came off the barrel, she knew it was gone. Immediately sticking her arm up in the air, celebrating, and that feels good. She's not a home run hitter. Hits behind Brady, does have that power ability at times, and she just gets a ball that she can rotate on.
How about how UCLA had 2 home runs for the season coming into this game, and they have 2 home runs in this 1 inning alone.
Well, it was interesting coming into this game, as you were mentioning too, 21 strikeouts for the team to just 11 walks. They have obviously flipped that around, being patient, taking those walks, and then coming up with the big blows to do damage.
Pola's on base for a 4th time and the 2nd time in the inning. Their 3rd walk of the game.
The next batter is the first baseman, Jordan Woolery.
Things kind of turned for the Seminole fans here. They were up 2-0 early. Fell behind 4-2, came back, took a 5-4 lead, but now it's been an 8-run inning right now for UCLA here in the bottom of the 4th. Jordan Woolery. Takes a strike.
And just the ups and the downs of this tournament, you can feel it. Stanford's a great example. They scored 15 runs in their win, and then FSU comes right back around the next game and shuts them out.
Yeah.
And then Florida State threw a shutout, and then the next game have 12 runs scored against them, maybe more because we're just in the bottom of the 4th inning. But the ups and downs of this tournament, you just can't keep up. It really is like a roller coaster here. The level of play that we have, and some pitchers that are just trying to figure it out and develop as we go.
Woolery pulls it foul. Jordan earlier in the inning hit a hot shot to short that came up and hit Isa Torres in the chest. She recovered, threw in time to first, but Ross didn't make the catch. That went as an error, and that's been a humongous play in this inning.
Yeah.
Especially because that was an opportunity to get an out after the home run. The response after the home run, what happens to that next hitter is just so important for the defense to go after him.
Well, that would have been, as you mentioned, second out of the inning, even the double, walk, and then potentially getting Alchin to ground out as well. The first, yeah, he's been out of the inning. 5 less runs up on the board.
Woolery, despite reaching on the air in this inning, does have a couple RBIs and 2 hits. We welcome those of you watching on ESPN2 to Eddie Seymour Softball Complex in Clearwater, Florida. Day 2 of the 2024 Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational presented by Evo Shield. We are in the bottom of the 4th. UCLA leading 12-5. They've scored 8 runs in this inning, and another base hit comes from Jordan Woolery. The Tennessee-Stanford game you may be looking for here on ESPN2 is going to start a little late because they occupied the field with the earlier game before that. It's going to start at 3:18 Eastern, but we're happy to have you along for number 20 UCLA, number 5 Florida State, along with Hall of Famer Michelle Smith, and two-time All-American Amanda Scarborough. I'm Mark Neely. Things got a little crazy here in the middle innings, ladies.
A little kooky.
Yes.
And the 3rd and the 4th inning that we're still actually in, believe it or not, where UCLA has just really put it on Florida State here with taking advantage of walks and a couple of home runs they've hit in this inning.
Megan Grant, the 13th batter in the inning, flies to deep center, and Kerr makes the catch. Well, we'll be on the line of head coach of the Seminoles, Lonnie Alameda, after her team gave up 8. We'll find out when we come back. 12-5 Bruins. Alameda.
And Coach, a game like today, what are you telling your pitching staff when you've had to go to the bullpen a couple times?
Michelle.
Oh, sorry, Coach.
I would say from all the games here, you know, the ball flies in this park. It's kind of crazy home run parks here. So, I mean, solo shots, fine with. It's just the traffic. It's just too much traffic right now, so nitpicking a little bit. But, you know, we're still early in the season. I'm trying to figure out pitch calling. We're trying to figure out our verbiage. So, you know, I mean, I think just awesome for Mimi right now getting in there. We just got to get our feet wet and, yeah, keep learning.
And, Coach, believe it or not, we're just in the top of the 5th inning, so a lot of chance for you guys to score.
Well,
What's
as long
your
as we
message
don't
to your
stay out
offense?
of run rule territory.
Yeah,
but yeah,
good
for
point.
sure, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just pitch by pitch right now. I mean, I think obviously everyone's trying to figure it out with pitching staff, so you can kind of see that. So, but, you know, I mean, Ocho can't hit a 4-run home run right now. Like, just stay in yourself and do what you do and just one pitch at a time. Yeah.
Appreciate the time. Thanks,
Yeah.
Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Lonnie Alameda, who, you know, we talked about the vibe of this tournament, which is more relaxed. And there's Coach Alameda, whose team just gave up 8 runs and are down 12-5. Still has a smile on her face, still wants to talk, and that's what the class people do.
Yeah, she's one of the best coaches in this game. You know, she knows how to talk to her entire team as well as those pitchers in a tough position. And it's like she said, she's not worried about the ball leaving the yard. She's worried about the ball leaving the yard when you've put 3 or 4 runners on with, you know, the lack of control of the strike zone. So, you know, these are all learning lessons. These are things early in the season that she's teaching moments. And she talks about that as long as they can stay checked in.
Kaylee Harding going to lead off.
And not checked out.
Yeah. And Lonnie brought up a great point. And she's like, you know, we're still trying to figure this out and this out and this out. You're just a handful of games into the season, and you're trying to figure it out against top 25 caliber teams.
Yeah.
Jada Cecil in the circle now for UCLA. Took over for Taylor Tinsley. Bouncy ball up the middle. Diving attempt by Pola, but it's in the right center. Harding is 3 for 3. Let's take a look at the game track brought to you by Evo Shield. Home run, 3-run home run, solo home run. Get the idea that the ball's been leaving the park.
Yeah. On both fields down here, too. I mean, Coach Alameda talked about, they played here enough to know that the ball really carries in these fields. And even despite the deeper gaps, too, the ball leaves the park here.
Yeah, and to the credit to the UCLA pitching staff, Tinsley and Cecil so far, they're hitting this game. Free passes, minimal. They've given up their hits, but minimal free passes, and that's the reason that they've got the lead right now.
To short off Maya Brady's glove and into center field. Maya going to her left. Trying to corral that hot shot, could not, and now Florida State's got 2 on, nobody out. After we'll see what scored a base hit for Beecham. It would be her second.
Well, and you know that their offense isn't going to go away. This is a Florida State offense that can score quickly. Thought that was a play that Maya Brady could have found in her glove as the line drive out, but didn't look like she got a great read. And now Florida State has 2 on, trying to get some back.
It has scored a hit for Beecham, so 2 aboard. Devin Flaherty takes low.
Well, and again, going back to those keys to the game, right? Bringing all of this full circle. UCLA has done their job of putting those runs up on the board, and a couple of those miscues for Florida State have led to big innings. A couple of those errors, a couple of plays potentially they make.
Gonna kick off Palacios, and each runner will advance.
Well, and
a wild
there's
pitch.
somehow just 1 error on the board for Florida State, but I think that they would tell you there's a couple more plays that they felt like they needed to make in this game.
Yeah, 100%.
Infield creeps in for UCLA. Well, the Bruins have scored 12 runs in the last 2 innings. This is a team that came into this Clearwater Invitational with just a record of 2 wins and 3 losses after the first weekend. Very un-Bruin-like.
Yeah.
Four-pitch walk, and now it's the Seminoles that have the bases loaded.
I think I jinxed them because I was just saying there are not many free passes, and boom.
I have another pitching change here to bring in the freshman, potentially. She's kind of...
Wait, bases loaded, nobody
side
out.
note, exactly.
Next down for the Noles, catcher Michaela Edenfield.
They call her KT, 2-time Gatorade Arizona Player of the Year. Won it as a sophomore and then again as a senior out of Greenway High School in Glendale.
And a highly recruited athlete, too. And she can bring it, throws with that good velocity, coming from the left-hand side, and she can hit as well. Left-handed hitter, similar to Ashton Danley.
First bat of the fall, hit an opposite field home
That's
run,
right.
so she can definitely swing it.
Strong athlete. I love the pop of that mitt hearing it. It's one of my favorite sounds in the game.
Edenfield hit the front end of back-to-back homers with Waycaser an inning ago. Second of the season. Getting it up there, upper 60s, but now behind in the count, 3-1 with no place to put Michaela Edenfield.
It's a great eye. And you know who knows the strike zone?
Absolutely.
Michaela Enfield. She saw all those walks, all those pitches not get called that are about belt high because she's the catcher. So goes to school, takes that pitch for herself, gets an RBI and a run for Florida State.
Makes it a 12-6 game. Here's Hallie Waycaser at the back end of the back-to-back solo shots, an inning ago for Florida State. Chinaway Perez now out to the circle.
Giving her a pep talk of just about, hey, relax. This is relax, okay? No, I'm just joking. But hey, throw some strikes. Trust in us. Trust in your catcher. Trust in your defense. Smile a little bit. Like, it's time to be serious, and this is important, but at the same time, you still got to have fun. And that little laugh sometimes can be all you need to just get in a more relaxed mindset, slow your heart rate down to be able to make some pitches here.
Being a male, I learned long ago never to tell a female to relax. That's not a game winner.
Definitely joking about that phrase. Look, boom. Next pitch strike.
That's 2-1 now. Left it up, and now it's 3-1, in danger of forcing in another run. Everybody living pitch by pitch in this game, huh?
Yeah.
Back-to-back bases loaded walks.
In this game, really, it's been, in my opinion, categorized by a lot of pitchers who throw up in the zone, and the strike zone has been non-existent above the belt. So that just tells me you have to be able to throw either a four-seam fastball, something where you're going to get an over-the-top rotation, so you can live at the knee when you're not getting above the belt.
Maya Ross now with the bases loaded. And nobody out as the first 5 have all reached. 3 consecutive walks handed out by Bruins pitching. UCLA had not been the team issuing the walks until these last 3 hitters. Those are their first 3 walks of the game. Meanwhile, UCLA's offense has been given 10 walks by Seminole pitching.
Well, and it's like Taylor Tinsley is back in the, yeah, she's warming up again. A really not a deep pitching staff for UCLA at all. So likely to go back to her if she started the game to get in trouble. Or more trouble, I should say.
And there's the pitch you were just talking about, Michelle.
Yeah.
It hasn't been there as a strike all day.
Yeah, and it's, you know, for pitchers, it's very frustrating because now you're really limiting where you can put the ball through the zone.
Shoveled to second for 1, to first safe, and a run scores. That brings in Flaherty. Third run of the inning comes across. It's a 12-8 game.
Next batter for the Noles, number 6, Haley Mudd.
Those of you hanging around on ESPN2 for Tennessee Stanford, you're just a minute or 2 away from that. Stick around. At the field adjacent to ours. Mudge came in as a pinch hitter in the 4th, had an RBI base hit. Stayed in the game, he gets a second AB. His 12 runs going to be enough to win this game. It wasn't in the Northwestern LSU game.
was not.
0-2 count. True freshman Caitlin Terry trying to get Bruins through this top half of the fifth. Those of you on ESPNU, stick around. We'll continuation of this Florida State UCLA game. And for Stanford, Tennessee, ESPN2 coming up here just a matter of seconds. For those of you on ESPN2, appreciate you hanging around, but let's send you to Field 8 next door for Tennessee and Stanford with Tiffany Green and Madison Shipman. All right, friends on ESPNU, it's just us again, and 20 runs in this game.
Oh, man.
Oh. One ball and 2 strikes. Up high, runner heading for second. The throw is not in time, and that's going to allow Ed Field to come in from third base. Double steal.
Well, it's interesting throwing all the way through, and the way that the defense for UCLA ran that. There was no cut. Both middles went to the bag. The throw was elevated.
And Mudge strikes out. 2 gone. Now not having a cut on that throw through seems even a little bigger.
Next batter for the Noles, center fielder.
They did get the strikeout. Back to the top of the order, Janai Kerr. Singled in the first and is 1 out of 3. Absolutely hammered a ball in the fourth. Her last time up and lined out to the right fielder, Megan Grant.
And there also been a lot of hard hit outs in this game too. Just a lot of offense and of course a lot of free passes, but hard hit balls, home runs.
In a 4-run inning now for Florida State. Cut a 7-run deficit down to 3 and have a tying run in the on-deck circle. Caitlin Terry has followed Jada Cecil and the starter Taylor Tinsley in the circle for UCLA today. Just a lot of comfortable swings by hitters all day.
Yes.
Well, because they're splitting the zone, to be very honest. They don't have to look above the belt because they know it's a ball, and that's the easiest way to hit.
Line to first. Woolery makes the catch. That ends the inning, but
We've seen
I think we've seen a lot.
a lot of runs scored, a lot of walks.
UCLA scored 12 runs in the last 2 innings. They bat now the bottom of the 5th. Catcher Charlize Palacios officially 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch and an intentional walk.
And remember, coming into the 3rd inning, they had only scored 1 run in their last 12 innings. And now in the last 2 innings, they've scored 12 runs.
They did a good job of really being choosy, making sure they know what pitch they're hunting and laying off the pitches that they know that are going to be called balls.
1-2 pitch from Mimi Gooden. Hey, the family's here. The Ospreys.
There they are.
Did you bring dinner?
Wow, that one on the right looks like he wants to go grab something.
Yeah, he does. He's ready.
His eyes. It's like the hitters today.
Yes.
That stick still hanging down from the nest.
Barely. Literally by
Yeah.
a couple of threads. We get play-by-play on more than
Yeah.
just the field, folks.
That's right. And you see there, that you saw the back of field 8. We're at field 9. That ball is through the left side, base hit. Palacios on.
You know, we're used to seeing Florida State and UCLA up at the top of their conferences.
The next batter is
A lot of offense today, 19 combined hits, which, I mean, that's low compared to our first game market at 35 combined hits. So still a ways to go to get to that point, but a lot of offense. I've seen 7 different pitchers in today's game. But what I was going to say before that offensive graphic popped up was kind of makes you feel like the ACC and the Pac-12 are open for another champion to step in, and used to seeing Florida State and UCLA up at the top. And it was Stanford, actually, that was picked to win the Pac-12, the first time that the coaches poll that Stanford had ever been chosen to win the Pac. And Florida State can still hit it. It's just the pitching part that we'll see if they get figured out by the time conference play comes.
Right field, snagged by Harding. Throw to first, double play.
Great job by Kaylee Harding out in right field. Bueno now at first base for Florida State, and I love the way that she goes out and reaches for that ball as it's tailing down. This is great defense. This ball is just laser shot, but Harding with a good beat on it, and Bueno, look at the way she's going to go down. She's going to step toward that. So great job to pick that out of the dirt. Double play for Florida State.
Angeli Bueno at first base, as you mentioned, true freshman.
Another hard hit ball. I mean, some of these outs are such loud outs on both sides.
Lasers for sure.
But you also think of maybe in the Pac, Washington sliding in there, potentially at the top.
They're always a candidate, I would think, yeah.
Especially with the way that Ruby Malin has started out this season pitching.
Yeah, Malin's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, she can really spin the ball in a lot of different directions.
She definitely helped the Huskies kind of get past losing Gabby Plain last year.
And then for ACC, I mean, Duke is playing well early this season. Clemson, Virginia Tech.
Hit her in the foot. So Stevens, who had walked her 2 previous plate appearances, now hit by pitch.
Next batter for the Bruins, Janelle Meoño.
Janelle Meoño to get back in the game. She came in as a pinch runner earlier, has stayed in. It's going to get a chance to hit here. Got banged up not long ago and missed some games.
And we've had 4 different hitters hit in the 8th spot for UCLA. So a lot of different bases.
This is year 2 for Janelle with UCLA, coming over from Arizona. Stevens on with 2 outs. Meoño, who won the Pac-12 batting title with Arizona back in 2021. And she hit .442. Last year hit .330 for the Bruins. Strike 3 ends the inning. A relatively quiet bottom of the 5th. We'll head to the 6th. UCLA 12, Florida State 9.
It's been a battle of the free passes, really. A lot of times.
We love to build games that way, folks.
Yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the battle of the free passes. It's a transition for Coach Inoue Perez, who has admittedly said, my pitching staff is as young and as inexperienced as she has had at UCLA.
Well, and that's, you always expect UCLA to have an ace, to have a Rachel Garcia, a Megan Farimo, a Brooke Yanez.
First pitch swinging.
Base hit for Issa Torres.
And a base hit for Issa Torres to begin the top of the 6th.
The next batter, the right fielder,
Caitlin Terry came in, finish off that 5th inning. Back out there here to begin the 6th. Coming up on 30 pitches. That's 2 pitches, 2 base hits, dumped into right. Torres takes the turn and goes to 3rd. Kaylee Harding has her 4th hit of the game, I should say. Yeah. 3 singles and a double, 4 for 4.
And she started out this season hot. She's always been so clutch for FSU. Lots of at-bats, experience for them, and now 2 on for FSU, and very aggressive hitters coming to the plate right now for FSU.
And the tying run at the plate. J.C. Beecham.
See Maya Brady playing well up the middle of the field, so much to the point when we take the shot from center field, she's right by second base, and you can see her in the shot. Opens up a big hole on the left side, but likely, to tell you too, they're probably going to pitch Beecham on the outside corner, trying to get her to hit the ball more up the middle or the right side.
Beecham grounds it towards the hole. And Brady, who was pulled towards the middle, can't come up with it with a dive. And Torres scores to make it 12-10. Beecham's 3rd hit and 2nd RBI of the game.
You really have to be impressed with the way Beecham swings the bat in that 4-hole for just a freshman.
Yeah, she's not afraid.
No, not at all.
Flaherty squares. Evan is lined to first, grounded out to the right side as well, and walked. Scored a run in that 4-run 5th for Florida State. Oh, boy, Flaherty started to swing, stopped as that ball ran right in on her and got some of the left hand.
And then 2 home run hitters coming up back-to-back here. Enfield and Waycase are on deck.
Enfield aggressively went up after it. Strike 1. She had a solo shot in the 4th. A bases loaded walk in the 5th. She's knocked in a couple. You could give Florida State back the lead with 1 swing.
Enfield that's her weakness, wanting to chase that pitch up in the zone and just feeding right into the hand of the freshman. It could easily be 2-0 right now. Instead, it's 0-2. And see if Enfield can show some discipline on this 0-2 pitch. You know Terry wants to expand the zone.
And then takes strike 3.
Wow. A little bit of bend. Back into the zone, but I think Edenfield all day long has caught her batteries, and they have not gotten anything elevated or off the plate. Which I personally think that should be a strike. Just would like to state that. I think the zone has to be for pitchers, a ball, at least a ball above the belt. You have to be able to throw to the upper side of the zone.
Here's Waycaser. Like Edenfield, she has a solo homer and a bases loaded walk. That's in the dirt. You see number 22, Annie Potter's running at second. That appealed and is a strike. And there's no way that was close to a swing.
No.
Fans are getting a little restless here.
Yeah, they are.
In the 6th inning.
So it's an 0-2 pitch, and that's fouled back. A 12-10 game in the 6th. Florida State, UCLA from Clearwater. Caitlin Terry's 0-2 pitch again.
It's a good location there for the freshman on that 0-2 pitch. Look at her find a way to get ahead of both of these hitters with the bases loaded. Went at Edenfield and
job by Waycaser to lay off that pitch. Up in the zone. Terry trying to expand it.
Now it's 3-2. Base is full, only 1 out. Hot shot, Brady out at second. Double play!
Maya Brady stepping up defensively. This is a hot shot. She stays down on it, and Pola turns the double play. UCLA gets out of a big jam.
A really nice turn by Savvy Pola to pick up that double play. A lot of little things happening in this game for UCLA that they needed to really turn around last weekend's performance. Starting their first 5 games at 2-3.
9-1-2 batters for the Bruins. Tessa Mala'ulu, 2-run single in her last at bat, her first RBIs of the season. And with the fact that she didn't play last year because of injury, these were her first RBIs since the 2022 season.
Well, and 7 different players have RBI for UCLA, so not just relying on Maya Brady, not just relying on Jordan Woolery or Megan Grant, but different players contributing to the overall 12 runs that they have on the board.
You know, at the knees. Called high for ball 4 on a 5-pitch walk to Mala'ulu. How about Maya Brady? Take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater with the bat. It's a 3-run shot.
She turned that double play too, and Savvy Pola also getting in on the action. She hit that solo home run at the bottom of the 4th. They both hit their home runs in the bottom of the 4th. Long inning,
Very long inning.
offensively for UCLA. But it also starts to just take a little bit of pressure off of their pitching and defense in a way, and that's why we put that the key to the game was to score runs. I mean, we weren't being, sarcastic or silly, but just that this is the type of offense that can score 12 runs in a game. So, okay, our pitching staff's going to give up 10, we'll score 12. Our pitching staff's going to score or give up 13, we'll score 14.
Blasted towards deep center, and all Kirk can do is watch it sail over the palm trees. Second homer of the game for Brady, her second of the season, her second in back-to-back at-bats. He's now driven in 5 today.
Maya Brady just getting a pitch on the outside corner. It's slightly elevated, and she just goes in, gets it, and drives in. Maya Brady was in the running top 3 for USA Softball National Player of the Year. A little bit of a slow start last weekend, but absolutely kicking it in the form. And I really feel like this season for UCLA goes as Maya Brady goes. And the double play, the 2 home runs in this game, starting to see things turn around here for the Bruins.
7th career multi-homer game for Maya Brady. Ray Kaser-Hall's in the drive hit by Pola. They retire her for the first time in the game. 3 walks and a homer.
And you're going right, too, when you're hitting home runs up the middle of the field. And both of her home runs have been pretty much to dead center field and just towering shots. She's just not missing at all, right on time.
Well, here's Woolery. She's had a very nice day as well, 3 hits. Towering pop-up on the infield. Torres wanting it. Almost no-coned out, but she makes the catch. This updates you Stanford, Tennessee. Ball blasted towards right center field. By the way, Elijah Kennedy came in after the starter cross, walked or loaded the bases with nobody out. Game currently on ESPN2 with Stanford now leading 1-0 in the top of the 2nd.
It's a big game for them to get up on the board after Florida State shut them out last night.
There were, they had 6 home runs, I think, in the game against Georgia Tech. I think that was when they scored the 15 runs. Hanashiro had multi-home run game.
3
home run game.
Almost 4 for 4. I mean, that's
My goodness.
stats.
Couple of hits, an extra base hit, 2 runs scored for Megan Grant. Ball's hit to left towards the corner, and it's going to drop right at the base of the fence. And Grant's at second with her 3rd hit of the game, her 2nd double. And Smitty, you mentioned Woolery and Grant back-to-back in the batting order for the first time in a while for UCLA, and I think we're going to see that continue.
Yeah, I mean, 6 hits between the 2 of them. You just got to love them when they're back-to-back. It was so successful last year. They hit from the right and from the left respectively, and I just think that the combination of the 2 of them, is tough on pitchers. It's hard to get them out consecutively.
Well, good will be
For the entire year, but over 9 innings pitched opening weekend. So to your point, Michelle, you can tell they're going to lean on her a little bit more. And get some more chances. Runner in scoring position for UCLA, and you want to keep Megan Grant there. 4 runs versus a 5-run lead feels Much more tougher to come back from in the top of the 7th inning. And that home run is just so tough because, again, there was a leadoff walk that was on base when Maya Brady hit that home run. So 7 or 8 base on balls have come around to score. About half of the runs that UCLA have got on base with the walk.
Down the left field side, foul by a few feet. Yeah, you like to stay within, as we call it, slam range, grand slam range. You want to stay within 4 if you can, huh?
I like that. Slam range.
Yeah.
Load them up.
Charlize has been hit by a pitch, intentionally walked, singled. Officially 1 for 2. Got in on the hands and the pop-up. He's caught by Bueno. Last chance for Florida State. They'll bat in the top of the 7th with 8, 9, and 1 up, down 4.
You know, it's an opportunity for her to come back in. One of the great rules in softball: if you start,
Yeah.
and you're removed, you can re-enter.
I love that rule. Can't imagine the game without it.
And the first baseman, Maya Ross.
All right, let's see what Florida State has up their sleeve. Down 4. The game that they led early 2-0, fell behind 4-2, led 5-4, and then that 8-run UCLA 4th. Put them down 12-5. They got within 12-9. 8, 9, and 1 part of the order. Amaya Ross 1 for 2 as Tinsley started it and now is trying to finish it.
Tinsley threw well. Gave up a couple hits in that first inning, the home runs, but you know, opportunity for her to take a little pause, come back in, reset things, and try to finish it off.
Well, UCLA will turn right back around and play Georgia right after this too. So
Little flare out to left, drops in. And the speed of Ross puts her at second base to begin the inning. Her second hit today. Well, tomorrow morning our coverage will continue over on ACC Network with Georgia Tech taking on Northwestern, and then Sunday morning it's North Carolina taking on number 10 Washington. That's ACC Network from here in Clearwater this weekend.
And I think there's one aspect of the game that Tinsley needs to clean up. It is giving up those hits with 2 strikes. You know, we've seen it last weekend in this game. We just don't know if it's coming back to a different pitch, expanding the zone, not expecting the strikeout. You know, sometimes strikeout pitchers are a little bit too much around the zone and end up giving up hits you shouldn't.
Junior Katie Dack, who was used as a pinch hitter in their game against Stanford yesterday and walked, comes in here. And right now, Florida State, they just need more base runners. Down 4 here in the 7th. Oh, 2 on Dack.
who's going to start that next game for UCLA?
Oh my goodness! If you asked Coach I right now, she'd probably look at you with a glare like,
hey,
you think
can we
I know
get through
that
this
right
one
now?
first, Amanda? But I mean, I would think that they'd want to start Tinsley again. I feel like that's what they're going to want to do more times than not this weekend. But you just can't script it here.
No.
You can have an idea of what you want to do, but then you just crumple it up and you throw it in the trash because of all the offense here and small strike zones as well, putting more pressure on the pitchers, more walks, more pitches pitched.
I can tell you that what she wants to start is her offense again.
Definitely.
That's what she wants. She wants 14 runs up on the board against Georgia.
It might be what they need in that game, too. 11 hits for UCLA in this game, and the 3 home runs.
Close. To the outside corner, it's a full count.
Palacios really trying to pull that ball back in the strike zone. Now, I'm a proponent, move the body, keep the gloves still. Looks a little better.
Big 3-2 pitch to Katie Dack. And a delayed strike 3 call. I don't think she knows yet that she's been called out. Now she does. What a huge call.
That goes with the changeup that gets just the bottom of the zone, but we've been talking about it that he prefers to call more of the bottom of the zone than the top of the zone, and it's a direct reflection. And Katie Dack absolutely thought that she walked, but instead she struck out looking.
Instead of 2 on, nobody out. As you watch her react going down the line, she's like, what? I'm out? Top of the order, though, Janai Kerr. She's 1 for 4, but last 2 times up, in the 4th, she smoked the ball to right at Megan Grant, and then smoked one at Woolery at first base in the 5th. So she's hit 2 balls very hard her last 2 at bats. It's got an over on each of those.
And you see how much power that UCLA respects. I mean, look at the right fielder here, and then center. You almost lose them because they're just playing so deep, respecting especially the pull side power of Kerr. Got a lot of pop.
Well, right now, a 4-run lead doesn't seem like a 4-run lead. It seems more like 2. The tying run, potential tying run, has gotten into the on-deck circle. Think how big that strike 3 call is now instead of ball 4.
Yes.
Battery uses a timeout.
I like that. Palacios, you know, senior leadership, goes out, talks to her sophomore pitchers, says, look, let's focus on throwing strikes here.
Torres got under it. Stevens went back initially, now comes in and can't get to it. But a throw to third. Not in time. And the force out there. Good base running by Ross. Kind of got stuck in no man's land briefly, but now Florida State has loaded the bases.
You see how far back Mayonio started, had a long way to come again. UCLA's outfielders just heels on the warning track, and ball just had eyes in front of her. If she was playing in a normal position, that would have been just a fly ball, but they keep playing so far back. Excuse me, Alchin out in left field. My fault, thanks, Michelle. But had so far to come to try to catch that ball. And look at Florida State. They call a timeout now by head coach Kelly Inouye Perez.
You got Harding at the plate, who is 4 for 4. Not a long conversation.
What did you call the 4-run deficit? Slam?
Slam range. You're in slam range, and now you got a chance with 1 swing to tie it up.
And you're really in slam range whenever the base is loaded in that inning. I mean, that feels like it's it.
That's the pure definition right there, yeah.
It's one thing to be hypothetical about it. It's another thing to be facing it.
That's right.
At the top of the 7th.
Here's Harding. He's already hit 3 homers this year. 4 hits today. A little too aggressive there.
Nice changeup by Tinsley. over the top rotation. It's just the way it kind of moves up and down through the zone.
See if this is going to stay in play, and it looks like it will near the third base coach's box. Alaulu makes the play. And a big second out for the UCLA defense.
The next batter is third baseman, Beacham.
Florida State down to their last out, but do have the tying run at the plate. Freshman Jason Beacham. He was 3 for 4.
Yeah, I was going to say she has swung it well. Tinsley really using that changeup a lot in this inning.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, tying run at the plate. A 1-2 from Taylor Tinsley. Chopped to third, there's a force out there, and the game is over. And for the first time in just over 15 years, UCLA wins a game when they give up 10 or more runs as they outlast the Seminoles 14-10.
A great job by UCLA to hang in there. They'd had issues scoring runs earlier this season, but obviously not today.